Hello and welcome to the Husky Show. This is a channel I'm going to dedicate to my coverage of Northern Illinois football. I'm not a big into the other sports. I watch basketball, but I mean, come on, we're pretty tragic at basketball. So, this is going to be a channel focused on football, Northern Illinois football. We wrapped our season the other day with the Tail Greedo Cure Bowl. I was at the game, and that's why this video is so late. So I had to drive back. It's a sad day. What was a sad day for Husky Nation? We had a good showing, I think, for a bowl game in Florida. You know, it's tough to get all the way down there, but there's lots of fans there. It was really fun hanging out with them. Obviously, the game did not end how we wanted it to, not just both on the scoreboard, but also with some questionable clock management there at the end by the referees. I'm not going to get into it because, did not mean we were going to win the game had we got one more play. And also, we had other chances to win. I don't really want to focus on the end of that game because ultimately, if we get one more play and we score, or we don't get one more play and we don't score, it doesn't take away from what we've done this season. So in this video especially, I might make a video just about the game in general, and I'll talk about it a little bit. You know what? I'll talk about it because I feel like a lot of the things we've seen in this game is going to be important for next season. The run game in this game was very good. It was very good. We had over 300 yards rushing, 320. They started to slow it down a little bit towards the end of the game, I'll be honest. I mean, if you watched the game, I'm sure you know that. But the run game was very good. We matched up with a team which Coastal isn't the biggest Group of 5 team, but they are a good Group of 5 team. We matched up with them and we pounded it down their throats. Just that's how it worked. The defense, though, was not particularly good. And I mean that with the most respect, if I can say that, to the players on that team and the coaching. We are very young on defense this year. We are losing, from what I've looked at the roster, I think we're losing one starting defensive player. That basically played the whole season. That would be Lance Deveneaux. He was really good for us. Also, Dylan Thomas is entering the portal, it looks like. We just got that news that Dylan Thomas is entering the portal, which I hate to see Dylan go. But, so I guess we're losing a couple starters. Kyle Pugh, missed the season due to injury, I believe. Didn't play this season, really. So, we're not losing too much on the defensive side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball. I believe we're returning 20 starters from the end of the season. So, I mean, Richie obviously would have been wide receiver 1 had he not been hurt, but so I hate to see him go too. He was a great player for us for a long time. Going into the season, I felt he would be our best player, and he kind of was, but obviously with the injury, he missed the end of the season, and we showed we could obviously win without him. So we're losing Richie. We're losing Ratkovich. Sorry, I'm getting into getting ahead of myself. The defense was not great in this Cure Bowl. The thing is, Coastal's offense is really, really good. It's really good. We knew that going in. My projection for the game was going to be a lot of points, and sort of whoever had the ball last would win, just because even with a top 40 run defense coming into the game, Coastal had, I didn't think they'd be able to stop our run game. It's just not something that Group of 5 teams have the ability. I don't think they have the ability to line up with us in the run game and maybe slow us down. Some of them could slow us down. I'm not talking about like Cincinnati, who's obviously going to be playing for the playoffs this year. I'm talking like most Group of 5 teams, if not almost all of them, cannot line up and stop us. Maybe slow us down, but not stop us. And even teams that are in the Power 5, like we saw, as I'll get into the rest of the season recap, even some Power 5 teams couldn't exactly stop us. So I think that's the last thing I would say about the Cure Bowl there. It was a disappointing end of the season. But honestly, I think I just want it to motivate us for next season. That coming into this season, I never thought this was going to be our year. Again, we had, I believe, the second or third youngest roster in the FBS. We're still coming off a winless season. Yeah, we had Rocky Lombardi coming in from the transfer portal to play quarterback, but I didn't think this was going to be our year. I was worried, we weren't going to send off Richie and some of those good players, those good seniors with the program that we've had for a long time. I was worried we weren't going to send them off well, and even with the loss in the bowl game, I think we're able to send them off well with a MAC championship. Which, if you're a Northern Illinois fan, if you're a fan of any MAC team, I think I can speak for all of the MAC teams here. Bowl games are cool. But MAC championships, to me personally, that's what matters the most, is winning MAC championships. Obviously, we'd love to go and win our bowl games. I mean, as a Northern fan, we haven't won one in 10 years. So, that's obviously a huge goal for the program right now, is to just get back there and win a bowl game. And I thought it was going to be all night, honestly. I thought it was going to be all night on Friday to finally snap that streak. I was there at the start of the streak, the Orange Bowl. But honestly, it wasn't our year, and there's always next year. In fact, I think next year is the year. So we'll talk a little bit more about next year in a second. But I first want to kind of look back at the season that we have had and kind of recap sort of the season. So the first game of the year, coming into the year, I'm gonna set the stage here. Coming into the year, I did not think we were going to be very good. As a diehard Husky fan, we had a lot of questions. We were pretty young. I knew last year we were going to be bad. Like, I did not care that we were 0-6 last year. I knew before the season we were not going to be good. We just had too many young guys in too many key roles. There was never supposed to be all season last year either. Don't get me wrong. But this year was still sort of, we got a lot of young guys. I was hoping for a bowl game. 6-6 bowl game. Even because I felt we had a really tough out-of-conference schedule, which most of the MAC does, to be fair. And we come into the year with Georgia Tech, a Georgia Tech team that was coming off a 3-6 season in all ACC play. Sort of looked like going into the season they were starting to sort of turn the corner, perhaps gonna sort of build on that year where a 3-6 in ACC play with is not terrible. It's not terrible. It's not good, but it's like, if you had played out of conference games, maybe you get to a bowl game if you win them all. It wasn't a bad. Well, maybe they were 3-7. I don't remember. But they won 3 games and they didn't play 12. So I thought it was a winnable game. But I didn't think we would. I thought if we did win, it would show massive improvement for the program. But it was also, that would be more worrying for Georgia Tech. I was at the game. If you recall, I am from the second half show. That's my channel. I was at the game. I'm assuming you're coming from there, but I was at the game, and to be honest, going in, I just thought it'd be fun to see the program, play, because I am in Georgia. I live in Georgia, and they were coming close to me, sort of relatively, and I thought, I go to all the games in the South, first of all. The Florida State game, the Vandy game, 2019, I was at them both. So I figured, might as well go see him play. I don't care if we win. Let's just see, Rocky Lombardi. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I did not expect to win. And then, of course, we come out and we take a 14-0 lead. And we got a bit conservative, but we end up holding on. And we don't really hold on. We end up blowing the lead. But we come back and we score and we go for 2 and we win. I have a video on this channel of the 2-point play. I had a great seat for that, and that's when we knew, hey, we could not only make a bowl game, we could make a pretty decent bowl game. That's when I upped our projections from potentially 5-7 or maybe 6-6 to, hey, maybe we'll go 7-5. I was thinking maybe we can get to 7-5 with this team. We're not. maybe we're legit. Maybe we're pretty legit in the MAC. But it was more my first reaction was more, hey, Georgia Tech's probably just not that good. Because Georgia Tech didn't play that great in that game. Like, I don't want to sit up here and say we're better than Georgia Tech necessarily. Now we probably are. You look at our season, you look at their season, we're probably better than Georgia Tech. Especially now, at the end of the season, where we're playing our best football the last month of the season, not the first game of the season. We are playing our best football now, and even with all of the injuries that we've suffered to some key pieces, Harrison Whaley, Tyrese Ritchie, like we suffered Devin Lafayette in that first game. We suffered key injuries at the beginning of the season and still managed to play our best football at the end of the season. And we'll get to that. But so it was a great start to the season, and then we go home against Wyoming, and I to be honest, after the Georgia Tech game, I kind of figured we'd get Wyoming. We did not. That was a game where we were getting crushed. Came all the way back. Lost. I that game was, I would say it was heartbreaking, but it was not good. Then came sort of the Michigan game. We've been memed on all season by some in the college football community for being a team with a really good record that won the MAC West, and had a negative point differential. And all of that negative point differential comes from one game, the Michigan game. We went into the big house and we got smacked 63-10. That game didn't tell me a whole lot about our program. It more told me that Michigan was legit this year, which turned out to be totally correct. And then just because, I knew our defense wasn't great. I didn't think our defense was great. We gave up a ton of points to Wyoming, but just because, they dominated us, and I didn't think we were bad. A bad team, for sure. So moving on from that game, that's when we beat Maine. Who cares? And then MAC play started. And MAC play went it started out. You know what? I won't even say it started out. It was rough, but we won. Like this started the sort of a one score streak. Where 27-20 against Eastern. The game was, we were kind of ahead, and they kind of fought back into it. And it was a whole thing. But we win on MAC opener, and then comes the Glass Bowl. And if you're a Northern Illinois fan, Toledo was not only always the goal, but always shockingly easier than it should be. It doesn't matter if Toledo's better than us. They never win. Like, there's a couple years where Toledo wins the Glass Bowl, but it hasn't happened much in my, not lifetime, but since I've been old enough to kind of appreciate college football, it's not really happened that much. I think it's happened twice. And it was years where we were bad and they were good. But even years when we were bad and they were good, we still won. Because they choked the Glass Bowl. That's Toledo's move. I don't want to be mean to any of you Toledo fans. I hate Toledo, okay? I'm gonna be honest. It's a rivalry. But also, I'm not a guy, and again, I don't live in Ohio, so I don't really interact with a lot of Toledo fans in person, more so online. I'm a guy that no matter what Toledo fans say about us, I will always feel more bad for Toledo fans than mad at them, because it's really hard to be a fan of a team that can disappoint you as much as Toledo has disappointed their fans, and still remain a fan, still remain a loyal fan. So I have a lot of respect for Toledo fans who can kind of, who are willing to stick it out through all the pain. It's not that they're terrible. If they were terrible, that'd be one thing, because then you expect to be disappointed. But Toledo always makes sure to give their fans hope, and then just take it away. So Toledo once again did not win the Glass Bowl. At the time I thought, well, it's just Toledo being Toledo. No, we were better than Toledo this year, so it was a close game, but we won. Then came the Bowling Green game. Again, at home, we win. That was good. And suddenly we're sitting at 3-0 in MAC play. We're 3-0. This was sort of when it started to look like maybe we were going to go on a run. Now, we thought, at the time, we're looking at Eastern as maybe not a great win. And then they end up finishing 7-5. Obviously, they just got crushed in their bowl game by Liberty, but I don't really blame them for that. Liberty's a way better team than 7-5. So we're starting to look at the season, at least I was, as hey, we beat Maine, FCS team. We beat Georgia Tech. They were not winning games. Obviously, they ended up winning a North Carolina game, I think, at some point, but they weren't winning a lot of games either. At the time, they were not looking too hot either. And we beat Eastern, we beat Bowling Green, and then we beat Toledo, who's, they played close with Notre Dame, but, they're struggling a little bit. Especially, and, they just always lose to us. That's just how it works. So, then comes the Central Michigan game, that's going to be a real challenge for us between winning a MAC West title as Central Michigan. Because Central Michigan is not usually good, and they always beat us. That's one reason why I hate Central Michigan so much. They always beat us, and they're never as good as us. They don't even have to be bowl eligible, and we can be really good, and they'll win. I don't know what it is. They just had our number at key times in years past. It's just how it works. Like, when we're bad, we beat them. Like, when it doesn't matter, we'll beat them, but, they've had our number. So this was what I was really worried. And to be honest, it was a great game. We should not have beat Central Michigan. We just shouldn't have beat Central Michigan. I'm not saying they were better than us. I'm not saying... I mean, I think we were better than them, but still. Central Michigan has the ball, and they're trying to kick a game-winning field goal. They fumble the snap. Maybe they missed the field goal. Who knows? Maybe they missed the field goal. But, they fumble the snap. And, we get a little bit lucky there. We get past Central Michigan. Suddenly we're 4-0. This is when I knew we were starting to have a special season. Was 6-2. 1 year after going 0-6. 4-0 in the MAC. And we sort of have the chance to make a run. In fact, teams are losing, and it looks like we don't even have to win the rest of our games to win the MAC. Well, let alone we can probably take a loss or two, depending on who we lose to. That it's starting to look like maybe this is the year we win the MAC West, if not the MAC overall. Now comes the Kent State game, and the Kent State game was huge because it was, at the time, it really felt like Kent State was gonna be the team we would face in the MAC title. Now, it ended up being that they ended up coming close. Like, if they had lost to Miami of Ohio on that 2-point conversion, we would have played Miami of Ohio. But I was pretty confident it was going to be Bowling Green at the time. Well, not Bowling Green. It was going to be Kent State at the time for the MAC title. So I was like, this is going to be a MAC title preview. Let's see who's better. And it was a fantastic game. Tyrese Ritchie goes down, which was a huge blow. But Trayvon Rudolph comes in. He has 300 yards. We're playing with them. They get a lead. We come back. It was well, we first get the lead first, then they come back and get a lead, then we come back, and then they come back. It was a crazy game, 52-47, and they win. They win, and it was clear we couldn't stop their offense. They scored in under 2 minutes on all of their scoring drives. It was a crazy game, but we lost, and then that's when I don't know if the doubts started, because I still thought, hey, we can just finish strong and we'll be good. Ball State. It made the Ball State game huge. We had Ball State at home. Ball State's a good team. They finished 7-5. We had to win. And it ends up coming down to a game-winning kick. Of course, Richardson hits it, get the ice in the veins, went viral. And suddenly, we're 1 game away from a MAC West title. 1 game away. And at this point, I knew we just had to beat Buffalo on the road. And it was kind of surreal, especially after that Ball State game, that a season I expected to be terrible. Well, not terrible, but not really that good, had suddenly transformed into this, we're 7-3. We just need to beat a not-so-good Buffalo team on the road, and we get a bid to the MAC title. Will we win that? We don't know, but, I mean, that would have been an insane season, regardless, if we don't win the MAC title. That would have been a great season. even 7-5 would have been good. I would have been fine with 7-5 before the season. At this point, I would have been really disappointed, but we were having a great season, way better than I expected. The run game was starting to look unstoppable. Ducker, Ontario Brown, kind of a 1-2 punch. Whaley had been down. I mean, I'd been injured, but we were sort of having this 1-2 punch, and it was working. It was working really good, and then we go on the road to Buffalo, and we have a lead, and we kind of blow it. We end up in overtime, and they fumble on the goal line. We kind of got some big breaks this year. If they do score, I still think we probably win in overtime. We were just a better team than Buffalo. But they score, Ratkovich scores, we win the MAC West. We're 8-3. And we only got one game left. Now, here's the thing I respect. Coach Hammock made a call. I respect it. Would I liked to get to that ninth, to try to go 9-3? Yeah, but we bench Lombardi for the Western Michigan game. We sit some people and we don't care. We've won the MAC West. We don't care about the Western Michigan game. We focus on the MAC title. And yes, we lose the Western Michigan game, but I barely count that. Props to them for winning. I know it's a rivalry and I should care. At that point in the season, I did not. At this point in the season, I do not care about it. And we go to the MAC title. And it's Kent State, a team we've already lost a thriller to. We know our defense can't really hold up against. Well, at least that's what we thought. And we come out and we punch them in the mouth. And we force a couple turnovers. I think it was one. We ended up forcing several turnovers during the game. We force a turnover and we, can stall their offense a little bit. And we go up big. They throw a pick six eventually in the second half. And we kind of just cruise to a big win. That was not expected. I was not expecting that, to be honest. And we cap off what I consider a magical run from 0-6 to 9-4 MAC title. It was insane. It was awesome. And then, of course, we get to the Cure Bowl, we lose. We've been over that. So it has been a nice trip down memory lane. But now it's time to talk about next season. So we are losing some contributors, as I talked about. Devin Lafayette. No, we're getting him. Not losing Devin Lafayette. Well, he was injured all season. We'll see, I guess. Never mind. We're losing Lance Devino. We're losing Clint Ratkovich at fullback, who scored a lot of touchdowns for us. Was good out of the backfield, pass blocking, third down. He was good. He was he's a fullback. He was also our RB3 once Whaley went down. I don't say Whaley, I think it's Whaley. He was our RB3. We lose him. I think Punter's the senior, so we'll lose the Punter. I think we got a tight end leaving, but not one that really played a whole lot. Patton, we're losing Patton. That's a huge loss at center. He was our best lineman this year. And Kyle Pugh, I think we're losing, but he missed the whole season due to injury. And there's one more, I think. There's one more guy I'm missing. Oh, Dylan Thomas we lose to the portal. And I think that covers all the guys that we're losing. To those guys, I wish we could have won the Cure Bowl for you guys. Especially Lance Devino, who's had such a hard battle these last few years with injuries and has kind of battled and stuck around. I'm really glad we could send him off with a MAC. Oh, we're losing Richie. Yeah, that's the guy. I forgot. We're losing Richie. He missed the end of the season due to injury, so we've already been without him for a little while. But yeah, we got to send those guys off for the MAC title. Wish we could have won the last game, but that sometimes you just don't. You don't win the last game. So as for guys we're bringing in, we'll talk about the recruiting class in a second. But we're bringing in Isaiah Green-May from Wisconsin. He's a guy who never really didn't really play a whole lot at Wisconsin due to lots and lots of injuries. Kind of hampered his playing time, his ability to get on the field. He's huge. He's 6'6". He could definitely be a beast for us. He's a linebacker. Definitely be a beast for us. I'm really excited to see him play. I'm just hoping that he can, not just for us, but for him, that he can kind of come back, bounce back from all his sort of tumultuous time at Wisconsin with all the injuries, and just ball for us. So we're adding him on defense. I think that's going to be a huge get. Obviously, as many of you know, Justin Lynch is coming home from the transfer portal. He was at Temple this year. He saw some limited playing time because their starter was trash, Dewan Mathis. He's on limited playing time, but after Rod Carey's firing, he bounced, and we get him back. So that's huge for potentially the future. I don't know if Justin Lynch is the chosen one, but that's what I call him. I always just call him the chosen one. Since he's been in high school, that's what I've been calling him, just because he's Jordan Lynch's brother. Obviously, as a Northern Illinois fan, Jordan Lynch is my I don't know if he's my favorite all-time player. I mean, Michael Turner, obviously. You got guys that you really like. But he's probably my favorite all-time Northern Illinois player. Um, so especially since I got to see sort of the Orange Bowl and some of those big moments during his career. Even though we lost the Orange Bowl and the MAC championship the next year. Never mind. But that sort of maybe we can recapture the magic there, But obviously we got guys that we've recruited. We got quarterbacks who could step in and be great. But for next season, we got Rocky Lombardi back, which is going to be huge. I mean, we're bringing back Lombardi. Ducker is eligibility-wise, he's a freshman. Ontario Brown, eligibility-wise, a freshman. And he's a true freshman. But, we got a couple freshmen in the backfield. We still got some veteran guys at spot. I mean, Miles Joyner's veteran tight end. We got actually on the O line we're very young still. We'll have some sophomores and some juniors. We'll have Cole Tucker back. We'll have Trayvon Rudolph, who's maybe the best player. I mean, he's been insane this year. Obviously walked on last year, won freshman return man of the year or whatever, I think, nationally. NCAA all first team freshman All American, I believe. And gonna win the Balls at some point, I would have to think. Especially if once he gets a full season of like PT at wide receiver 1. I'm gonna put him on the watch list for walk on. Blowsworth is nation's best walk on. He's on my watch list for sure. If I'm in the know, you gotta think. So we got him coming back. Jordan Travis at receiver. Offensively, we should be great next year. I think next year we should drop 40 on most teams we play. And we'll look at our schedule in a minute because we got a couple big ones next year. A couple big ones. We should drop tons of points. Run game. I don't think the MAC can line up with us in the run game. As long as we can find a center to replace Patton, who's was really good for us, but that we can probably, it's going to be a lot of running down your throats, and maybe we won't try to get. Hopefully, we don't end up in shootouts, and we can win our games 30-0 and just run the clock the whole time. Hopefully, we won't have to get into shootouts. Defensively, we lose Lance Deveneaux, Dylan Thomas enters the portal. The defense wasn't great this year. I don't want to disparage the guys on the team or anything, but the defense was not great this year. So, we'll see. Still sort of a work in progress. We're bringing in Green May, bringing in some new recruits. We got a lot of guys that were redshirted, that were recruits last year, that are going to be coming in. And, maybe some guys get healthy. Devin Lafayette, maybe he gets healthy. Because I think he is coming back. Hopefully we bring in maybe even some more guys from the portal. We've had a good season. I think we could maybe bring in some more portal guys. I don't think Hammock's necessarily big on just taking anybody through the portal or in recruiting. We've been very I think we've been very selective from what I've seen. We don't offer a lot of scholarships. That Coach Hammock's talked about this in the past. That we're only going to offer guys we really want and think would really work in our program. So, I think that's a smart move. I actually I'm really like the culture that we've built there, and I think it's important that you bring in guys that fit with your culture. So I don't know how much more we'll use the portal more than we already have. We're bringing another guy from FIU, I think, a corner. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see if we'll continue to monitor the recruiting class. But I'll actually bring up Troy's. What am I saying? Northern Illinois' recruiting class. Some of you may know that I am a Troy football fan as well. Well, student as well. Sometimes, it's. I'm not gonna reference that. Anyway, so the big guy, obviously Gassaway, Jake Gassaway out of Nebraska, linebacker. He's our best recruit. He's our second best recruit this year or last year. Obviously Ontario Brown, but significantly he's a top 15 recruit for us all time. I mean, Gassaway should be, I hope, an instant impact guy at linebacker, especially since we're losing some linebackers. Um, Alvarado, safety as well, coming in from New Jersey. He could be really good. Again, defensively, we need help. So that's kind of the theme of this recruiting class. Roy Williams, defensive lineman out of Illinois, 6'7", 241. I think he could be a beast for us. Trey Porter, out of Iowa, 6'2", 180. I'm curious to see what he'll play. I believe he played. What did he play DB in high school? Yeah, he played DB. That's what I thought. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, he did sign, so gonna get some DB help. So obviously, our top four guys are all defensive players, and then Jalen Johnson, coming in at receiver, not to be confused with Jalen Johnson, the Chicago Bears corner. Bear down. We'll see. We're pretty set at receiver, but obviously we won't be set forever. He is 6'3", 185. Obviously the weight doesn't matter so much. And then a guy I'm really excited about on the offensive line, out of Wisconsin, Evan Melchor, 6'7", 235. And I think he's bigger than 235. But 6'7" is obviously quite tall, and he's got good size. 235 may be a little bit small, but I think he's bigger than that too. I think it's a bit light for what. I think that's a little bit of a maybe haven't updated it recently. I think he's over 250. But I think he could be really good for us. Obviously, Wisconsin Badgers have had great success recruiting the state of Wisconsin for offensive linemen. So you love to see offensive linemen from Wisconsin. Then we got a Marion Knighton from Florida, cornerback, another 3-star guy. All these are 3-star guys. Dawson Raperta, edge defender, from Iowa. So I mean, like, if you notice a theme, it's a lot of defensive players. We need a lot of defensive help. That rounds out our 3-stars. We have a couple 2-stars. Malik Armstrong, a receiver from Illinois. Eli Reed, a athlete from Downers Grove South, Illinois. My father attended Downers Grove North, so maybe not too happy to have. Nah, I'm kidding. I don't care. But it's. I think as long as he's a good player, we'll be fine. But we also have some. So those are the guys that signed. Zeke Williams, I fully expect to sign. He's from Naperville, Illinois. Athlete, 3-stars, 6'2", 180. He's good. And Rashawn Miles, I'm not so sure about. Indiana, safety, is another 3-star guy. We'll see with him. I still expect him to sign, but fingers crossed, I guess. And then we've got another Dane Partridge, another 2-star receiver. So that's really what we are addressing a lot offensively is receiver this year. We're trying to bring in several receivers, but we'll just see how things pan out. But I think that so far it's been quite a good class for us. I know last year we signed 23 stars, and this year we've only signed 10, but we still got the rest of recruiting. It's just the early signing day, and personally, I quite like the guys we're bringing in. A lot of defensive help. I think Gassaway will be a beast for us. Hoping Cooper Roy will sign here. That's another linebacker from Missouri. We've offered him, but he hasn't committed. He's got lots of offers though, so we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. But again, we are. I think personally, right now, I think we're doing well. So, we'll see. We'll see. So that's sort of my look at the recruiting class. I like the recruiting class a lot. I don't know what other people's opinions and thoughts on it are. Didn't really talk about it with anybody at the game, and I don't see a lot of no Illinois fans talk online a little bit, but obviously I'm talking online right now. But the next thing is next season's schedule. Next season's schedule is awesome. I love next season's schedule. I am so excited for next year. I think we could go 12-0. I'm not gonna pick the games yet. Not gonna give my picks yet. But we open the season with Eastern Illinois. Okay, beat Eastern Illinois. That shouldn't be a problem. I don't want to overlook them, but come on. Come on. We are going in a really good direction with the program right now. I don't expect a down year. We're not losing people really, unless people enter the portal, which I don't think people are going to enter the portal. I know Dylan Thomas did, but I think right now, with the way the program is going, with the culture that we built, I think people want to come into the program, not leave. I could see maybe Ontario enter the portal. I really hope he doesn't, and that's not based on anything he said or anything he's done, just because he is a really highly touted recruit by our standards, and I guess we'll have another position battle next year to see who's the starting guy. Ducker's a little bit more power, I think. Ontario's got a little bit more finesse. Would I like to see Ontario start? Personally, I don't know. I think him and Ducker are both very good. I just hope neither of them leave. That's my hope, is that neither of them leave. And I don't think Ducker will leave because he's starting. But you don't want to see the backup leave, and he's really good. He's been really good for us in the reps we've got him, so it's a fear, but I don't think it's a legitimate fear. Obviously, we'll see if anything. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. So no use talking about it. So hopefully nobody else enters the portal, and hopefully we can bring in some more guys from the portal. There's lots of guys that maybe are wanting to get some PT, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and from bigger programs, and one reason or another aren't starting. Maybe there's a guy who's slightly older, slightly better, who knows, at these big programs, and we could use the help, to be honest, on defense. Even if they don't end up starting, which obviously I don't want them to come here and then not end up starting, because that always sucks when you see a guy into the transfer portal, transfer somewhere, and they don't end up starting. That really sucks for them. But hopefully, at least we'll have a competition with the guys currently on the team and the new recruits, and we'll just see who's the best player. I don't mind bringing new guys in, even if they're to compete with guys I really like on the team, just because as a fan, I want to see us field the best possible player, and I believe bringing in new guys gives us a better, if only slightly better chance to do that. So, we'll see if we bring in any more guys in the portal. Not everyone has entered. Bowl season isn't over yet, so we'll see how that goes. But next season's schedule starts with Southern Illinois, as I've said. Eastern Illinois. Beat them, and then we go on the road to Tulsa. Now, Tulsa is 6-6 this year. They're playing Old Dominion. Sorry, I need a text. They're playing Old Dominion, and I think we'll get to see a little bit maybe about where that Tulsa program is headed. If it's the right direction, the wrong direction. They're supposed to win by a lot against Old Dominion. I don't think that's the wrong opinion to have for Vegas. They've played with some really good teams. Tulsa is not a bad squad. A 6-6 is, I feel like they could easily be 7-5, obviously, if they don't lose to an SCS team the first week. But Tulsa's a really good squad. So we got a good group of 5 team to play on the road. That's a tough game for us. And then we have our second easiest game on the out of conference schedule with Vanderbilt coming to Husky Stadium. I really wish I could fly to Illinois and see the game. I don't think that's going to be possible. But we get to play Vanderbilt, an SEC team, at home next year. And I think we're going to win. Their coach could definitely he could get the program going in a better direction, turn it around. They got blown out by Eastern Tennessee State week 1 this year. I mean, they had a rough season. They beat UConn, and they really shouldn't have beat UConn, and UConn's terrible. And they beat Colorado State, who is also terrible. I mean, they were bad this year. They were bad. And a lot of their best players, at least by recruiting rankings, entered the portal. A lot of them are portaling out of there. It's potentially a sinking ship. Oh, we'll see. I don't think that's going to be a huge prestige win for us. Yes, it's good to beat any Power 5 team, especially an SEC Power 5 team in Vanderbilt. So it'd be a really good win for us, especially in Husky Stadium, to beat a Power 5 team. That'd be great. And then comes the big one. We go to Kentucky, okay? University of Kentucky. They will have played Florida by that point in the season. If they win that game, I think they come in ranked next year. And if they win that Florida game, they could be top 15, maybe number 10. We'll see where it all shakes out, but they had a good season this year. We'll see. I mean, I don't know how well the Napier era is going to start. Maybe Florida will be great next year. Who knows? But if Kentucky's undefeated and we're undefeated, having beat Vanderbilt and Tulsa, that'll be a huge game in Lexington. And I'm going to try and go. It's a really long drive for me from Alabama. But I don't know if we'll be able to miss it, man. By the way, I mean, we could win that game, I think. I know it's an SEC school. They're recruiting really well. They'll have us massively out-talented. But I think we have dogs on this team, okay? I believe in us. And maybe we don't win. Maybe we don't. We got crushed by Michigan this year. You know? Great team. We got crushed. Who knows? Maybe we lose. Either way, we get to play the best. The only way to prove you're the best is to play the best. And we get to play the best. And even if we don't win, we'll still have our MAC schedule, and I think we can maybe run the table in the MAC. It's the MAC, man. I mean, I don't want to diss the MAC, because I think MACtion's great and everything. And I think it's better than everybody thinks it is, although the bowl season hasn't been going too good. I think it's better than everybody thinks it is, but I think we are getting I don't know about exponential, but we're getting a lot better next year. I think we'll be a lot better next year than this year, and we already won the MAC this year, so what does that tell you? You know? I think it's going to be another MAC win. Maybe we lose one MAC game. And then with 10 bowl season, going into the championship game, if we win that, we can get to 11, 12 wins. Maybe win a bowl game. I think it'll be a great season, so I'm really excited. I know this video is kind of dragged on, but what I want to leave you with is there is a lot of hope. I, as a Northern fan, have a lot of hope, and I hope to see you next year. Hopefully not just online, but in Kentucky. But we'll see. Maybe at the bowl game, too. I guess with that, we'll leave you for my inaugural time. And I hope to do a lot more coverage of Northern Illinois this offseason. Anytime we get new recruit, expect me to post a video. New transfers. I might post more in-depth breakdowns of some of the recruiting class guys we've already signed. We'll see. But thank you for watching, and I hope to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you soon.